You know what's crazy is whenever I do these videos, my family isn't around. Whenever I make these videos, I make my family disappear. Ah! Hey, what's up world? Welcome back to the channel where we explore my mind and the world. And if you haven't already subscribed yet, please do hit that notification bell icon so you can be notified of my next video, which will be tomorrow. But without further ado, let's get into the topic of today's video. Now, I've watched about 60 or so movies, 60, 70, maybe more, maybe less, in 2017. And not all of them that I watched this year had actually come out in 2017. But I do like a lot of them, and while some of them I thought were really forgettable, I do want to take this time to highlight 3 of my favorite movies. Not 3 of the movies that I thought were the best, but 3 movies that I just really took to heart. And yes, I am leaving out documentaries because I actually didn't watch that many documentaries this year, although I do want to highlight Jim and Andy, The Great Beyond, which is a Netflix movie. But without further ado, number 3 has got to be Coco. I really adored this movie. It was a movie about a little boy whose family really disapproves of music because they have an ancestor who was a mariachi musician and left the family, and they sort of see it as a curse. This film I thought was really great because it was really definitely a standard Pixar affair, which is, well, Pixar sets really high standards. And while it didn't make me cry as much as Inside Out or Up or Toy Story 3 made me cry, this movie was definitely very emotional. In terms of the music, I thought it was okay. I didn't really recall very many songs, but it was good. Now jumping into the number 2 spot of my favorite movie of 2017, it's probably gotta be Logan. Logan, if you don't know, is a story of, well, essentially a road movie of this guy and his dad and his newfound daughter who have to escape these guys that are trying to kill them before they get to the Canadian border. And I just love this movie because it took all those elements, these characters that I love so much, it made it so perfectly gritty and dark, and not in that like way that Disney likes to do it with Snow White and the Huntsman. No, Logan and Wolverine in the comic books, he's already a very depressingly written character, and so it fit perfectly for this movie. And I thought it was amazing because they really focused on that relationship between the characters, between Logan and Lara and Logan and Charles. I was having a conversation about this movie with my brother and his fiance, and they really didn't like the movie because they thought it was kind of boring, but it could have also been because they were expecting some big spectacle like the Avengers. But this movie was not that. It was supposed to be about the relationship between the characters and a much more minimalistic type of movie. Before I get into my number 1 spot, I do want to give an honorable mention shout out to The Disaster Artist, which I really enjoyed because it was kind of an inspirational movie, and if you want to know more about that movie, you can click there for my review on it. But my number 1 pick for my favorite movie of 2017 has gotta be The Big Sick. The Big Sick, if you don't know, is a movie based on a true story about a Pakistani comedian in Chicago who meets a Caucasian girl. The two fall madly in love, and then she finds out that he actually was arranged to be wed by his family. And while he tries to tell her that he's trying to avoid all these cultures and traditions, she still feels really weird about it, and she decides to break up. Then shortly after that, she falls into a coma, and he has to call her parents and tell them all about how his daughter is in a coma right after they broke up. Don't you guys just hate it when you have to meet parents for the first time and your ex-girlfriend's in a coma? So yeah, this movie was like not your typical romantic comedy movie. It was almost not even a romantic comedy. It was in like the first half of it. Kumail Nanjiani, along with his wife, wrote this story about the way that they met. Yes, it's actually a true story. He played himself, Zoe Kazan played his girlfriend, and Holly Hunt and Ray Romano played the girlfriend's parents. And I thought it was a really brilliant movie, and the way that these characters interacted with each other, they're just like, yeah, these characters are really not perfect at all, but you know, they're just still like very human, and it felt like a very human story. And I gotta say, the reason I like this movie so much subjectively is because it really reminded me why I want to make movies, why I want to tell these stories. Because even though it's not something like Thor Ragnarok, which I also thought was a great movie this year, these very human stories really remind me about why I want to make films, because it's just so powerful and it really brings me back to why I want to do this. But hey, that's just my opinion. I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought was your favorite movie of 2017. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for new videos, which will be tomorrow. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all my social media links are down in the description below. But that's all I have for you guys today. Until next time, go explore something.